This is the anniversary of the day I found out my father had died. It was a beautiful day, just like today was, and we had been swimming in the river. My cousins had come down to visit, and we had been swimming all day in the river and had gone home for the evening to play games, and my mother said she wanted to take me somewhere alone, and that was special, if not suspect, because we had company. But I went, and she took me to church, and the pastor was in his office, and we went in and sat down, and he started asking me about the flowers. When you look at roses, they're beautiful, but what else do you see when you look at them? And I thought about it. My grandmother had rose bushes, she still does, and I thought, well, I said, you see the holes where the bugs have eaten through the leaves and the petals. And he goes, yes, but you also see thorns. And he said what he was trying to say was that my father had had an accident in his car. And I thought, Daddy, because I hadn't seen him since February, and it was August, and I felt just sad and shame that I hadn't thought of him in all that time. And then I thought, oh no, and I asked if he was dead, and the pastor said yes, that he was dead, and I wanted to cry, but it just didn't seem real, and it stayed that way. It just never seemed real, because I didn't get to go to the funeral, because I would have found out that, they thought, what they told me later was they thought he'd never kill himself, that he must have just been sitting there in the car with the gun in his mouth, and it just went off accidentally, so it was an accident in his car. But if I went to the funeral, anyway, I couldn't go to the funeral because I would have found out. And it was years before they told me how he had died. And people worry about me, because if you have someone in your family that's committed suicide, apparently there's a greater chance that you will commit suicide. And I have not only my father who committed suicide, I have his brother, his older brother, my uncle, committed suicide. And I have a really close friend that I went to school with for years and loved very much, who committed suicide. And I even had someone ask me once, when they found out, when I described my panic attacks and my anxiety, they asked me, why didn't you just kill yourself? And I've thought about it. And the answer, well, there were basically three things. One was my father. He wanted me. I had told you earlier about the abduction. He abducted my sister and me when someone threatened that he would never see us again. Just because he brought us back from visitation and he was high, and that person was furious. When they threatened that, that was unacceptable. My father came and got us and took us because he valued us and he wanted to have us with him. He wanted to be with us. And even though my mom and my stepfather got my sister back within weeks, he never stopped planning and plotting to get her back. And despite all his challenges, he jumped through hoops. He moved heaven and earth to try to keep us together and to keep me in school and to take me to church and to keep my life normal. He tried very hard. And so I knew that he loved me and that he valued me and that he was proud of me and everything that I could do and all of my achievements. And so that probably would have been enough. That could have very well been enough all by itself. But on top of that, I had the person that I loved romantically feel the same way about me too. He told me that I defined feminine beauty for him. I defined beauty in his mind. And he had told someone else that if he could marry anybody in the world, he would want me. And I knew that the person that I loved felt the same way about me, and that is an amazing thing. And that alone might have done it too. But on top of all of that, I had God, and I still have God. And I had hope then in his love and in his power, in his ability and in his willingness to help me. And if that weren't enough, on top of that, I had fear of hell. That if I did give up my trust and just give up, that no matter how bad things were, they were going to get worse. That the very next thing I knew, it would be a whole lot worse, and there would be no hope. And so I held on, and things got better, and they continue to get better. And so I remember my father. I remember his love for me, and how it made me different, and helped to save my life.